Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, aka the Football History Dude, and I'm here to help you finish your Christmas shopping list and let everyone else over there stiff-arm their competition while trying to fight off that tryptophan on Turkey Night. Now, what we did was we partnered with Rochester Sports Autographs, the largest JSA authenticated autograph distributor in the United States, where you can get up to 75% off over 30,000 autographed sports collectibles during this holiday season. They have something for everyone. But how is RSA able to offer such great deals on JSA authentication, you ask? Well, they do this by making deals directly with athletes so there are no extra markups, and they choose to then pass that savings on to you, the customer. Now, all orders from Rochester Sports Autographs are top quality and shipped to your door with top authentication and a money-back guarantee. But hurry up because customers are so stark raving mad for RSA that memorabilia sells out daily. All you have to do is head over to shoprsa.com/SHN. Again, that's shoprsa.com/SHN. So don't wait to bring home your favorites and own a piece of sports history for you and the loved ones on your shopping list this holiday season.
We as humans love to think about the rarest of the rare, finding a giant gold bar, seeing a UFO, or talking to Bigfoot. Well, in the NFL, there's a rule that takes you to that special place where it's so unique, it's almost never happened, but it almost did, the 1-point safety. We'll hear more about it coming up in just a moment.
This is the Pigskin Daily History Dispatch, a podcast that covers the anniversaries of American football events throughout history on a day-to-day basis. Your host, Darren Hayes, is podcasting from America's North Shore to bring you the memories of the gridiron, one day at a time. So as we come out of the tunnel of the Sports History Network, let's take the field and go no huddle through the portal of positive gridiron history with pigskindispatch.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, my football friends. This is Darren Hayes of pigskindispatch.com. Welcome once again to the Pig Pen, your portal to positive football history. And we are going to go into that history today and talk about one of the rules that's probably one of the strangest to us NFL fans that as we watch. It's pretty strange to the officials too, I believe, because it's never been used, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But before we do, let's make sure that you're aware of how to get into our network newsletter. We have a great newsletter comes out, Pigpen Sports, Pigskin Dispatch, Jersey Dispatch, OrvilleMulligan.com, and a little bit of Sports History Network as well. We have a newsletter every day, 6:30 a.m. Very easy to sign up for. The show notes of this very podcast will get you there, as well as at the top menu, there's a selection to become an email subscriber for the newsletter on JerseyDispatch.com and PigskinDispatch.com. Now, let's talk about this unicorn of NFL rules, the 1-point safety. Yeah, you heard me right. I said the 1-point safety. We know normally safeties are 2 points, but there's a very odd rule in the NFL rulebook. Now, according to the NFL scoring rules, under NFL rulebook section 11-3-2C of the 2022 NFL rules, which says this in referencing a point after attempt, it says if the try results in what would ordinarily be a safety against either team, 1 point is awarded to the opponent. Okay, now there are a lot of ifs on this. A very highly unlikely scenario. Now, first of all, the team attempting the try for 2 points or botched 1-point kick attempt must lose possession of the ball during the live ball play. Secondly, the defensive team must gain possession and either be trying to actively advance the ball out of the end zone or be in the field of play beyond their own goal line, and the ball somehow gets behind them into the goal line. And lastly, the ball has to become dead in the end zone after the defensive possession took place. Now, as we said, it is highly unlikely that this will occur. But then again, this is football. And that old prolate spheroid bounces in an unpredictable way, so to speak. I guess the first question is, has this ever occurred in National Football League history? After all, it's in the rule book. Well, at the time of this writing, I couldn't find any instances of Rule 11-3-2C ever being used in the league game. But believe it or not, we did get very close in one game. It was a Monday Night Football game. Yeah, all the weird stuff seems to happen on Monday Night Football. That's right. In 2018, a game, Monday Night Football, between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. The Patriots had just scored a touchdown with just under 10 minutes remaining in the game to extend their lead to 18-6 over the Bills. Of course, Coach Bill Belichick looks at his scoring chart. Okay, we're up 12. We go for 2. Make it a 14-point game if you succeed on the points. So Coach B decided to leave the offense on the field and go for a 2-point conversion in an attempt to get that 14-point lead. After all, he had one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Tom Brady, under center. So Brady takes a snap, a direct snap, and drop back and immediately fires a pass over the middle in the end zone to an awaiting Cordarrelle Patterson. Well, Buffalo Bills linebacker number 51, Julian Stanford, steps in the way and picks off the pass in the end zone, and in traffic decides he's going to try to take the ball out of the end zone for whatever reason. Maybe the excitement got to him. But before he even got within a yard of the goal line, an alert Patriot sort of rips the ball or punches the ball out of his arms, and it falls straight down to the ground about a yard deep in the end zone, and a mad scramble on the end zone paint ensued. Now, the website later covered the story and shared the Buffalo recovered the ball. Great link for this website on our PigskinDispatch.com post of this day. And had they not recovered, the Buffalo had not recovered, and New England would have either recovered the ball or the ball would have gone out of bounds in the end zone, a 1-point safety would have been awarded, as the dust could have been brushed off the NFL Rule 11-3-2C. But alas, Rule C must stay in its slumber because Buffalo recovered it. So it's just no good on the score. Now, the website quirkyresearch.com, in their look at the 1-point safeties, points to where a very similar collegiate rule, an NCAA rule for a 1-point safety, has been used in a couple of instances. The post says this, quote, "Before the 1988 season, the NCAA made a rule change, awarding college football teams 2 points for returning a failed extra point or 2-point conversion." And this happened 9 times in single A or in Division 1A football in 2005. So it did occur quite a bit. Matter of fact, we found a video that has a whole slew of 1-point safeties that are scored using this crazy rule that you'd think would never happen. Great link on YouTube that we share on PigskinDispatch.com in this article. So it does happen at the collegiate level, but there's a lot more teams, a lot more players, a lot more inexperienced players, maybe not as athletically gifted as an NFL player. So if the weird stuff's going to happen, it's probably going to happen at that college level. Bigger body of test subjects, I guess you'd say, a bigger laboratory. And so it's bound to happen in the National Football League. So having the rule in place is probably a pretty good idea. So though as weird it is and has not happened in the highest form of professional football, the guys at the collegiate level have found the cryptic phenomenon on occasion. And we could see one in an NFL game near you in the near future. So stay tuned and don't be surprised if you see that dreaded unicorn, the 1-point safety, pop its eerie head out of the sand and onto the scoreboard. Hope you enjoyed just a little bit of football history, a little bit of football rules history as we go to one of the oddest rules ever in NFL history, I think. And I hope you enjoy it. And we talk about football almost every day here at Pigskin Dispatch, 4 to 5 times a week. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the Rose Bowl every day for 40 straight days, so I think you're really going to enjoy that. Got a promo coming up for you right here. And until next time, everybody, have a great Gridiron Day.
The Rose Bowl.
The game that inspired the college football bowl season has a long and storied history. The stadium itself is 100 years old, and in celebration of it, Pigskin Dispatch is assembling some of the top historians and authors to share the memories, people, and events that make the granddaddy of them all the special game that it is.
That's right. Join me, Darren Hayes, on the Pigskin Dispatch podcast here on Sports History Network or your favorite podcast provider from the end of November all the way to the day of the big game.
Rose Bowl history from PigskinDispatch.com.
Peeking up at the clock, the time's running down. We're going to go into victory formation, take a knee, and let this baby run out. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back tomorrow for the next podcast. We invite you to check out our website, PigskinDispatch.com, not only to see the daily football history, but to experience positive football with our many articles on the good people of the game, as well as our own football comic strip, Cleat Marks Comics. PigskinDispatch.com is also on social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel to get all of your positive football news and history. A special thanks to the talents of Mike and Jean Monroe, as well as Jason Neff for letting us use their music during our podcast.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com. Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.